Welcome to Sales is Not a Dirty Word, the podcast that shows you how to convert 8 out of 10 sales conversations without acting like a douchebag. I'm your host, innovative sales coach, Aleasha Bahr, the creator of the Black Sheep Sales Method. Because if it's a fit, it's a fact, and there is no selling involved. If you're a service provider selling your own service and you're ready to sell differently than the mainstream status quo and win more sales without pressure, pitching, or pretending to be someone else, then this is for you. If you want to know more about the Black Sheep Sales Method, then go to Aleashabahr.com. So today we're going to be talking about something very timely. How to win sales even when there's economic uncertainty. So, people are talking about a looming recession, right? And there's been many times in the last 20 years that we've had some stuff like that happen. And I can tell you that there are plenty of people who still make a lot of sales. So it doesn't mean that people aren't buying things. It means that people are being more intentional with what they're buying, and they should be. So they need your help on what to buy more than ever. And if you're selling a service, I would bet that your service makes their life more certain in some kind of way. So, what do you do in times of economic uncertainty? You do everything you can to make things more certain. So, you want to position your service as something essential. You don't want it to seem optional or like something that they could make a choice on later, unless it actually is. But honestly, there's a way to position anything as essential when it's the right target audience, even something luxury. So let's say you're talking to people who are buying luxury items during a looming recession or economic uncertainty. How do you position what you're selling as something that is essential? Well, during times of economic uncertainty, your environment, your quality of life is directly impacted, and it's really important to keep that at a steady foundation. So, investing in, like, for example, during COVID, creating an environment that you enjoy being in was directly related to your quality of life because you were stuck at home, right? So, people who are renovating their houses, like that was not essential. They were going to live in their house no matter what. However, in that time, it became essential, right? It became essential to not hate where you were because you were stuck there. So let's talk about SEO. One of my clients right now, he's an SEO agency and he's helping a lot of e-commerce stores. And e-commerce stores are saying things before we work together, saying things like, well, things are kind of uncertain right now, so we're really holding on investments. And that can feel like the right move for a service provider, for like a store, a company, a business. However, it's like the most important time to invest in marketing because you have a smaller audience to tap into, and people are more resistant or hesitant than ever before. So your marketing needs to actually be rock solid. And if you're going through a time of economic uncertainty as an e-commerce store, then having to invest in paid ads becomes a really difficult thing to keep up with. So by investing in SEO, you offset your paid ads budget and make your growth and sales more sustainable than just constantly dumping into a black hole where you're competing with all of these people who are continuing to cause the rise of your paid search, like the increase in how expensive it is for you to be in front of the right people. So SEO can be an essential need for those stores. It's all about how you position it, right? And you really want to come from a place that's, beneficial and in the best interest of the other person. So I'm not saying manipulate it or misconstrue it or give misinformation about how your service is essential when it's really not. I want you to really think about who it is essential for and how it is essential. Because the biggest thing that happens to people during these times is they almost sell themselves out of selling their own service. They're like, nobody should be buying anything at this time. And you're doing a disservice to somebody, right? So that SEO company could really help somebody not lose a bunch of money on paid ads as everyone starts to dump more and more and more into pay ads. He could help them have sustainable growth that isn't as expensive. He owes them that to guide them through that process and understand if that is the right choice for them. I mean, same compared to social media. Or maybe, it depends on the client. That's why you need to be so clear on your target audience, because your service is essential for somebody. And you want to be able to position it that way and really help them understand where to invest their money, because it's a time when they can't just be buying fluffy stuff or stuff that they're unsure about. So the way that you articulate your service needs to be tighter than ever. It needs to be clearer than ever. And you need to have the confidence that your service is going to make a difference for someone. So, like, let's talk about mindset coaching, which seems very non essential, right? However, during times of economic uncertainty, the thing that can ruin your success the most is your mindset. Like we're talking about right now, right? You're predicting that nobody wants to buy your stuff or should buy your stuff because it's an economically uncertain time. So, what? The only thing that people are going to buy are like, I don't know, groceries and rent. That's the only thing they're going to spend money on. That's impossible. That just keeps you paralyzed. So you need to help people see what's going to still allow them to progress forward instead of staying stuck. It's really like, hey, do you still want to move forward and grow during this time? Or are you trying to just stay exactly the same? Because if you're trying to stay exactly the same or maybe even decrease, then don't do anything. Don't invest in anything. Cut all your budgets. You know what I mean? So it's like this fear response that you're kind of guiding them through so that they can make the best decision for them instead of staying stuck. So, mindset is very essential during this time because it can be the very thing that sabotages you. So, this is the time to make your mindset the strongest it can be, because if it is during a time that is unpredictable, then think about how great it's going to be when things are predictable, right? There's no better training ground to create mental strength of steel than a time of economic uncertainty, right? So I hope you can hear what I'm doing here and what a difference it makes for you to continue selling your service and for people to continue buying the things that they need. Because if you genuinely deliver something quality, it is more important than ever for you to be able to articulate that, because somebody's going to get that money. It's not that all the money that goes away, right? It's that somebody who's better at sales than you will get that money and probably do a worse job fulfilling, because we've all had the client that's been burned before, maybe multiple times, and we have to pay for those past transgressions that we had nothing to do with. And it sucks because it stops prospects, good people, from getting the help that they need. So it's so important for your livelihood, for your profitability, and for your prospects and future clients' profitability and livelihood, for you to understand how to position your service during this time and guide someone through the conversation so that they make the choice that's in their best interest instead of a choice made out of fear and scarcity that will cause them to stay stuck or perhaps decline. And yes, that rationale can be used in a manipulative way. I am not suggesting that you do that. Use it in a way that is genuinely in the other person's best interest by understanding what's most important to them right now and what other investments they have going on and what's going to help them keep the lights on and what's going to make the difference for them. And is your solution that thing? And that's position it. So I hope that this is helpful. This is something, obviously, if you're struggling with how to do this, this is what I do with my clients. This, especially during times of economic uncertainty. So you might be thinking, oh my God, I can't invest in a sales coach right now, as a great example. But it is the time when you need to invest in one more than ever, because the way that you articulate yourself and guide someone through a sales conversation is the difference in you continuing or increasing the amount of sales that you make, no matter what time or season or market it is. It becomes bulletproof, right? Because I know if you're listening to this show, you are a good person who does something really good, because I don't attract anybody else, because they're all looking for stupid tricks and hacks to just like squeeze people out of their money. And that's not you. So if you want help with that, I have a link in my bio for you to book a call, and I create something that is custom to you, your personality, and your service. In the meantime, please know that this doesn't mean that sales are about to drop off. Don't brace yourself for that objection at the end. You want to proactively head it off by having a conversation about their priorities, what they're doing about it, and what happens if they stop investing completely, and what will make them feel most confident in continuing to invest in your solution. And from there, you can position yourself. So know that there's absolutely still plenty of sales to be made no matter what, and that you are the person who needs to make them. So please do everybody a favor and learn how to communicate in a way that makes people want to buy your stuff so they can get good service, good results, and but the world spins on, right? So if this was helpful for you, please like, share, subscribe, because that stuff makes a huge difference. And thank you so much for listening. Until next time.